Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Thursday, March 12th, 2026 and I'm Abdul Majid Afwan with the Smashi Business Show. The headlines today: Iranian drones strike Oman's strategic port, which is the Salalah port, and oil markets have surged past $100 because of all this uncertainty in the oil and gas market and the closure of Strait of Hormuz. Middle East war has costed the Middle Eastern tourism industry $600 million per day. That's according to WTTC. I'll tell you the full form and also the whole story. Major international banks are moving to remote work settings in the Gulf offices. A lot of uncertainty around this news also, who is doing what. But I have all the news stories from verified authentic sources, double checked for you, who is saying what. My priority is the safety of our people. That's what ADNOC CEO Sultan Al-Jaber has said on his LinkedIn in a post, and he shared a lot of pictures of him physically being in the offices and also talking to remote teams through video calls, and he's saying that everything is going on thanks to the ADNOC family. But before we move on to the first story, it's very important to look at the markets. Yesterday, all the US markets were quite dubious, quite wavy, quite moving up and down. I was monitoring it throughout the day. A lot of things that we always look at: the bellwether stocks, the tech stocks, the oil and gas industry stocks, the bank stocks, obviously, one of our stories today, they were quite down, but there was a lot of upward movement in terms of aviation stocks, and in terms of robotics and missiles and military stocks. They were going up because yesterday, very interestingly, Mr. Trump said that he has won the war. He said it thrice in a place and didn't receive any clapping, and then the fourth time he emphasized on it, and then maybe he got half a clapping from the audience. Meanwhile, in the Gulf markets, it was a good day. It wasn't a bad day for Gulf markets, but that's what's happening in the Gulf markets. Oil is at $100. It's going up and down again. Why? That's the sorry for the small hiccup, but what's happening is Iranian drones launched a direct strike on the port of Salalah in Oman on Wednesday, hitting few storage facilities. I think we're back online, Kirby. It's all good? Storage facilities and forcing major shipping operations to halt. The attack ignited significant fires in two fuel tanks with smoke visible across the region. Several drones were intercepted. That's what the Bahrain Oman media is saying. The strikes marks the latest in a series of Iranian attacks targeting Gulf neighboring countries, critical infrastructure. It's sad to see that they are still targeting the Gulf neighboring countries, even with everything going on, even with all the countries saying that they are not going to launch an offensive against them. Meanwhile, Oman Sultan Haitham bin Tariq Al Said directly conveyed his government's strong dissatisfaction to Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, condemning what he called an attack on Omani territory. Salalah is no ordinary port. If you don't know about it, it handles 4.3 million shipping containers annually and recently underwent a $300 million expansion to boost capacity to 6.5 million containers per year. The port ranks as the world's second most efficient container facility globally as well, and it's the first most efficient container facility in the Middle East. The attack obviously sent shockwaves through the energy markets. Oil prices surged past $100 per barrel for the first time since 2022. And in the last week also. So last week it went up to $119. But since 2022, this has been a $100 push for the second time in this week, if you could say it. But Brent crude briefly climbed above $108 And the strikes underscores Iran's widening campaign against regional infrastructure, threatening global supply chains and energy markets already stretched by broader tensions across the Gulf. All of this is happening in the world, but there's another news which is catching the eye of Financial Times, Bloomberg, and every big publication, and we covered it on our social media channels in the morning also. The ongoing Iranian attacks in the Middle East are dealing a major blow to the region's tourism industry. If you've been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi, Riyadh, Jeddah, Qatar, Doha, you know, tourism is a major part of the GDP of these countries, and these ongoing Iranian attacks are not helping it. According to industry estimates from the World Travel and Tourism Council, WTTC for short, $600 million are lost per day because of these attacks by Iran. The reasons are travel disruptions, flight cancellations, and growing security concerns. They are sharply reducing visitor spending across the region. The Middle East has become one of the world's fastest growing tourism market in recent years. We saw every year in the last at least 5 years, the tourism numbers growing in the UAE, in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in Qatar, driven by major investments in destinations in the major three economies of UAE, Saudi, and Qatar. But these Iranian attacks on these Gulf neighboring countries have disrupted air travel routes. Emirates cancelled flights, Etihad cancelled flights, Doha, Qatar Airways had to cancel flights. They have forced the airlines to reroute flights, obviously adding to operational costs. And they've also triggered a wave of trip cancellations. Airports across the Gulf normally handle hundreds of thousands of passengers every day. If you follow Smashi business throughout the year, you know we've covered it so much on our platforms that Dubai is the busiest airport in the world. And Qatar Airways is the best airline. You know about the aviation industry and the tourism industry. Both go hand in hand. But a lot of people also use this region as a global transit hub. For the longer flights, they would come here, transit from here, take a break, and then get on another plane. But all of that has been disrupted. And if the disruptions continue, analysts, according to WTTC, warned the tourism sector could face billions of dollars in losses. The outlook now depends heavily on how long the regional conflict continues and how quickly traveler confidence returns. To be honest, it's not something new for this region. It's something that this region has faced in all times. Recent interruptions were the COVID-19 pandemic. Everyone saw that Dubai and UAE were the first ones in the world to reopen the country to tourists. So it's not something that these Middle Eastern countries, especially UAE, Saudi, and Qatar, the biggest three economies, who are dependent on tourism, a lot of tourism, Saudi, especially religious tourism. Hajj is coming up in 2.5, 3 months. So we have to see how long this conflict goes on and how soon the confidence of the travelers who want to come to these countries to enjoy the culture, the urban centers who want to enjoy everything good that these countries have to offer. I hope they return soon because I live in Dubai and I can vouch for it personally that it's not as bad as the Western media is showing you. Obviously, the tensions are flaring, there's things happening, but the leadership of these countries are very, very, very pro-human, pro-people, and very proactive also. So they've disrupted the flow of missiles. They've intercepted more than thousands of drones, missiles, anything that has been fired towards them. And just look at the diplomacy of these countries. They haven't fired back. They still believe in going to the table and discussing and finding a solution to this problem. But another serious news coming on the same topic. Obviously, it's the biggest topic right now that has been covered by international, local, and every media in the world. Iran's Joint Military Command on Wednesday, yesterday, announced that it would start targeting banks and financial institutions in the Middle East. And why did this happen is very important. The context is always very important. The context is that Emirates, Dubai, which is home to many international financial institutions such as and also Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and Qatar are also home to a lot of banks. Oman is home to a lot of banks. All of these are coming under attack. Basically, Iranian bank, which is a government-backed, government-owned bank, was attacked in Tehran by the US strikes. So, in retaliation, they are coming to bomb their Gulf neighboring countries, which sounds, as it is, very sad. But the Iranian threat now comes. The bank is called Bank SIPA, a state-owned financial institution sanctioned by the US, overfunding its armed forces, and it came under attack, killed staffers there. That's what Bloomberg reported, and obviously all the international media reported. A lot of staffs were killed there. Later, according to Reuters, now coming to the situation in the UAE right now, Citigroup, according to Reuters, told its staff to evacuate offices in the DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center, and Dubai's Oud Metha neighborhood, telling them to work from home until further notice. They're not shutting down operations as is being claimed on social media. They just provided an alternate option to work from home to their staff. HSBC has separately closed all branches in Qatar. Only one is functioning right now. That's also a HSBC statement itself. And they sent out a customer notice saying the measure was to ensure the safety of staff and customers. So physical banking is closed. There's only one branch which is open for emergency purposes, obviously. But you can still use their services through apps, through digital banking. And you can always call their customer centers. AI agents are there. Humans are there. HSBC staff in Qatar is also working from home. They are not shutting operations in the country. Moving on to the UAE, Standard Chartered CEO Rola Abu Maneh, she posted on LinkedIn, and Standard Chartered also sent out a press statement, and they both the statement said that the bank's operation continue without interruption. But again, they're not shutting down operations. The staff has been asked to work remotely. That's it, reflecting the resilience of operations and strength of business continuity arrangements in the UAE. That's the beauty of these countries. There are systems in place, and those systems work. Next up, Goldman Sachs has issued warning to employees based their offices in the IFC, and it was reported by multiple publications. There's no single statement from Goldman Sachs which can be referred to, but a lot of people close to the matter have told Bloomberg, AFP, Reuters, and Associated Press, all four of them, that they have told their people to work remotely. That's it, not shut down operations. Meanwhile, Citigroup's spokesperson stated to AP, Associated Press, that the bank was continuing to take measures to keep staff safe and had contingency plans in place to help people, the staff, to ensure that business keeps going on. Thankfully, we live in a digital age where people can use apps, people can use services online. If you don't use an app, you can go to digital banking online, use your laptop, use anything apart from going to a physical branch where people are now working from remote places. They can go to a coffee shop and work. They can go to some other remote working places. They can stay at home and work. That's the directive by the Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Interior to the residents of UAE. We got notifications last night also. We're getting notifications. We're always warned about what to do. We're always helped, and we are always told to follow guidelines. You should do. Whenever there is something happening, always refer to official sources and then take a decision what to do next. The last story is a feel-good story, and it should be the main story before we close the day. Abu Dhabi's National Oil Company CEO, he's the group CEO of ADNOC, Dr. Sultan Al Jaber, has praised employees across the company for maintaining operations and safety during a period of regional tension. After visiting several sites over the past week, exactly his words, Mr. Sultan Al Jaber thanked staff and partners and UAE authorities for their professionalism, discipline, and strong sense of responsibility. The Abu Dhabi National Oil Company chief also said in the LinkedIn post that thousands of workers across facilities, industrial sites, and offices are working every day to ensure the safety of personnel and the continuity of energy supplies. He added that ADNOC teams are showing resilience, preparedness, and teamwork while helping safeguard energy systems that support global economic stability. It's a very, very nice statement. It's a very nice, very important move from one of the largest oil producers in the world, the group CEO himself. To be honest, it's one of the people in the UAE that I admire a lot. His statements, whenever he does speeches, he's a great statesman. He was the head of COP28, which was hosted in the UAE. So all these things, when you see these proactive leaders coming out, putting out statements, showing initiative, being on the ground with the people. We recently saw His Highness Sheikh Hamdan also hosting a lot of business people. There is a 500 million, if I'm not wrong, fund that they're creating to remove hunger from the world. He was there with business leaders. We saw the president come out. He went, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. He was out. He met the people who got injured in the Iranian attacks on the Gulf neighboring countries. He saw him move around in the city. We saw His Highness Sheikh, the Dubai ruler, walking around, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. We've seen all of them come out and give out a message that everything is safe. The Ministry of Defense is doing its job. The pilots who are working overnight, I think they're on duty in the last 13 days. Today is the 13th day. They've been on duty, on call all the time. They're doing their job, and they're doing it pretty well. So thanks to them, thanks to all the frontline workers also, thanks to the people who are in hospitals, at emergency call, thanks to everyone literally who are making us feel safe in our cities, in our homes, in our emirates, in our countries. Thanks to everyone, to be honest. I was just on a nicer note, I was reading a LinkedIn post by one of the founders. He just moved his business to Abu Dhabi. And obviously, it's been a month since he moved. He has 2 kids, a 3-year-old and I think nearly 1-year-old. And the whole post was about that, okay, we moved to Abu Dhabi. We say so many superlatives whenever it comes to Abu Dhabi or Dubai. We call it Abu Dhabi, the capital of capital, the best place for finance, best place for capital. But very importantly, he said that somehow in all this, in all these superlatives, and in all this hullabaloo, and in all these very big words, the sense of community gets lost, which is one of the most important things in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, especially talking about Abu Dhabi. But we know that Arab culture, Arab countries, the Muslim world, as we call it, they are very, very community driven. So he loved the culture, and he said even with bombs flying and sometimes him taking shelter, he wasn't oblivious to the fact that there is something happening. He's very open about it, but he said even with that, the sense of community, the people coming together, the governments coming together, everyone coming together to make you feel safe is one of the most important things that you can't find anywhere else in the world. It's only in this region, in the Arab world. So yeah, that's all. Izzy says thank you for this very good information. You're welcome. We do it every day. You can, if you're busy, you can't watch the live, you can go on all the listening platforms. You can go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google, Google Videos, what's it called? Google something. You can go anywhere you want, and you can listen to it in the evening. It's a nice listen every day, just to tell you what's happening in the world. Thank you so much for joining us on the Smashi Business Show. That's a wrap for today. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels. We're literally everywhere. So it would be good if you follow us everywhere. Will help us spread all the verified, double-checked, good news out there about what's happening and keep you informed. In times of uncertainties, it's very important to stay informed with the right information. The right information gives you the tools to understand what's happening and makes you less anxious. That's what I believe. I'm a journalist, it's my job, but to be honest, the fear of unknown is more fearful to me. It's good to know what's happening in the world. So this has been a Smashi Business Show, Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. We have more than 30 plus shows, and a big shout out to all the 30,000 people who downloaded our shows. You make this possible. If you're one of them who are downloading the shows, listening to them, if you're just listening live, wherever you are, wherever you're supporting from or listening from, have a great, great day, and we will see you tomorrow on Friday. This is Abdul Majid Wan. Take care.